I just saw an article about the average and median net worth by age for people in America. The numbers were absolutely astounding, sickening, quite frankly. And so I thought I'd do a video talking about the difference between average net worth, median net worth, what it means, what it looks like for people in different age brackets, and ultimately what you can do to put yourself in a better situation here moving forward. So if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell. That way you're notified every time I launch a new video. Let's get into this. Hey, what's going on, Cashflow hackers? It's Chris from Life 180, and today we are talking about average and median net worth by age in this country. Talking about now, first and foremost, what I did was I did go through and do, I found this article. I want to show it here. This article is basically, it's a Yahoo article that goes through here, talks about some numbers. You know, it is what it is, but at the end of the day, what I think is important is not just what the numbers are, but you need to understand what the numbers are. And as you can see, I tried to simplify it, and I've got this whiteboard behind me, my vibe board, that I've gone on here, and I've created some good educational information that's gonna break it down, make it as simple as possible. And so my goal here is to be able to just kind of go through this, explain it all, educate, and talk about it. So let's start from the top. The average net worth, average versus median net worth. Now, here's basically how you do it. You basically say, all right, average net worth over here is basically saying you basically take the 100,000, 200,000, 300,000, 400,000, and $1 million. So basically what I would do is I would total all that up, right? And so it's basically, in this situation, is $2 million. And if you divided that by 5 people, because we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people, we divide that by 5 people, the average 2 million divided by 5 is $400,000. So the average net worth there would be $400,000. Now, you could take the same things, you got 100 here, a 200, a 300, a 400, and $1 million. So the same numbers, I don't know why I put them in a different order, I apologize. You get to the total of $2 million still, you know, when you add them all up, but that's not the part that matters in this scenario. What matters is the median is basically saying, let's find the person who's in the middle. So let's find the third income. So we go, let's eliminate, we're gonna eliminate the bottom income, we're gonna eliminate the top income, we're gonna eliminate the second bottom income, we're gonna eliminate the second top income. And so therefore we rely on this. The median income is the $300,000. So the median equals 300,000. And the reason this is important is because what this does is it gives you like the 50 percentile. It gives you where the middle of the road is. So if we had 300 million people and the median income or the median net worth is $300,000 in this scenario, that means 50% of people, 150 million basically, would have less than 300,000 and 50% would have more than 300,000. That is what the median income means. And that's why I think the median income is equally important, if not more important than the average income, because the reality is the average income here is skewed by the fact that we have the upper 5% holds most of the wealth in the country. And so what happens is the average income by age is brought up by the billionaires. So you know how many billionaires are between the age of 45 and 54. A lot of the billionaires are between the age of 45, 54, and then 55, 64. And so when we look at the average net worth, which is just averaging them all in and then dividing by the amount of people, these numbers are skewed greatly higher based on the net worth of the most successful people in the country. And the reality is that doesn't really give a good picture about where we are as a nation. And so the reason, if you look at this and you look at, say, all right, people under 35, the average net worth is 76,000. People 35 to 44, 436,000. People 45 to 54, 833,000. People 55 to 64, 1.175 million. 65 to 74, 1.217 million, and anybody over 75 is 977,000. That's the average. Now, here's the reality. If you look at that, those numbers don't look so bad. But when you look at the median income, when we look at the United States, which is supposed to be the most prosperous nation in the history of the world, and we look at average or median net worth, meaning 50% of the country has more than this. This is the midline. This is middle America, right? Like if we're talking about the middle class, what better way to look than the median income to see what the average person is doing, what the current condition. And if you look at the median income in this country and then you compare it with the median net worth, the numbers are so askew, it's mind-numbing. So when we look at 13,900 at under 35, 35 to 44 is 91,300, 45 to 54, 168,600, 55 to 64, 212,500, 65 to 74, 266,400, and over 75 is 254,800. Now, here's the deal. When we look at this, it's important to know, like, how do you calculate your net worth in the first place, right? So basically, how to calculate your net worth is basically saying total assets minus liabilities equals net worth. And so I'm going to use an example being a primary home. Okay, so if you look at this, you have your mortgage balance, which is your liability. Mortgage balance, let's say you owe $300,000 on your mortgage. The value of your home, let's say it's $550,000. If your value of your home is $550,000, that's your asset, right? So that means the net worth created from that is the 550 minus 300, which equals $250,000. Now, we just came through COVID, and so the thing is that during COVID, housing prices went up. So what you're going to see here is that the median net worth and the average net worth, all of this has been drastically increased because of the fact that we just came through a bull run in stock markets, because of asset prices in homes, and the net worth is being dramatically impacted by the equity in homes is driving this up. A lot of this is not even in retirement accounts. It's in equity based on home valuation, right? Which is kind of crazy, right? So when we really think about the fact that we back out our homes, and granted, there are some people that fall into this that obviously don't have homes, and so they don't have the equity. And I think that's where the number of 13,900 for people under 35 is it's a big renter generation at that point in time. And so if you don't own a home and you don't have any equity, that's obviously going to suppress the results that you have going on in your life. So the question is, what do you do, right? And what I say to do is, first and foremost, we need to eliminate debt at the end of the day. When we look at number one here, elimination of debt is one of the most important things that we can do, because at the end of the day, life is all about cash flow. And right now, typically speaking, if you have credit card payments, your interest rates are going up, they're variable, and they basically suck the future potential value, and the opportunity cost associated with paying your credit card payment is just completely catastrophic to your future growth. A lot of people are focused on trying to invest or trying to do all these other things, but the reality is the first thing that you can do for financial efficiency is take your credit cards that are 18% plus in interest and pay them off. Because if you could pay them off, now you basically free up more cash flow and you increase the efficiency. Unless you're not going to find investments that are going to, on a guaranteed basis, pay you higher than 18%. So you might as well free up that cash flow. It eliminates the liability. And then when we go into a downward cycle in the economy, what's going to happen is, as we're going through this place, I fully expect, as bad as these numbers look, I fully expect these numbers to get worse. Why? Because the equity in homes. And I think we are going to hit a place eventually here, and this is the cycle of things, where the stock market has to go down and equity in homes has to go down, right? Stocks, homes. We are at the tail end of a bull run, and this is just what it is, right? If we have a 2008 kind of scenario, if we even have a 2008 light kind of scenario where we lose 10, 20%, all these numbers here are going to go down accordingly, and the numbers will get worse and worse and worse, and the averages will as well, especially just across the board. In the middle class, even though the wealthy people will feel it and the numbers will get bad, it obviously hurts the middle class more than anybody else, because they don't have as much of a buffer. They don't have as much insulation built into their financial strategies, built into the fact that there are certain baselines of living expenses that it takes to be able to live a decent life. And people who are in the top 5-10% can take a hit, and it's not going to have a hugely negative impact on their lifestyle, whereas the the people at the bottom, I will say, the middle class and below, when they get a 5-10% contraction in their situation, it can have just devastating effects on their lifestyle. And it's important to understand. Sorry, I got a little distracted there. I had somebody knock on my door. But so anyway, that's important. So we want to free up this cash flow. Once we free that cash flow up, we need to focus on saving 20% of our income. I think one of the biggest problems in this country is that we are not saving enough money. That is the reality. We don't save enough money. And because of that, it forces people to take too much risk. And we are not a nation of investors. We're a nation of speculators because we don't have enough saved money. We don't focus on the right financial foundations. You know, I do a thing called the Life 180 Pyramid Talk, and I basically talk about the fact that we need to focus on building a foundation of safe money, and then we can focus on medium term, medium risk assets, and then we can take some more speculative risk as we build, because at the end of the day, as the market goes up and down, as you know, I would classify like Bitcoin as a high risk asset, right? It's got great long-term prospects, but if you go put all your money in Bitcoin, right, and you have no savings, safe money, if you have no savings and you put all of your money on Bitcoin and it's a volatile asset and it's going to go up and down and you need to access it when you're on a downswing and you have no safe money, well, guess what? Your whole financial livelihood is based on there, and this crumbles on you. Your whole world falls over and you got to start over, and this is bad. This is what most people do in this country is they are speculators, they're not investors. In order to be an investor, you have to build your financial foundation from the bottom up. You got to build your safe money. And now, you know, that's what we talk about is where are the best places to save money, getting your dollar to perform multiple functions for you and, you know, basically solve multiple problems for you all at the same time. You want a return that's going to beat inflation. You want, you know, guarantees, you want liquidity of that money. And the challenge is there's not a lot of places that you can do that. But that's one of the things that we coach people to. And I think that the biggest thing is you need to really focus on saving 20% of your income. That should be the target. Now, not everybody's there. Not everybody's able to do it because let's face it, their cash flow sucks. They need to eliminate the debts before they can do that. But the goal isn't to eliminate the debt to then dump that money into lifestyle and buy a better car and buy a better house and all that stuff. The goal should be to eliminate that debt so you can save the money, build up, and then invest for more cash flow producing assets. And as that cash flow goes up, then we can increase lifestyle. If everybody would just follow this plan, the world would be a different place, right? And so one of the things that we do is we teach people how to walk through this process and put you at the center of your own success, because I think that's a big problem that we have going on in the country right now. I talk about what I call the 5 F's of life: faith, family, fitness, finance, and freedom. Everybody has a goal of retiring, right? Getting to this place where maybe you're 65 and you can retire and whatever. But at the end of the day, really what you want is financial freedom. You want enough money saved so you can be able to retire and have enough guaranteed cash flow for the rest of your life to not have to go to work. And we have 65 as a date because people tell us that that should be our date. And at the end of the day, we're told that we need to take 40 years to get there. But the bottom line is, it doesn't have to be that way at all. You could go, and if you focus on investing for cash flow producing assets, you can get the result that you are looking for and reach freedom much, much faster. But I say it all the time as we talk about faith. Whatever your faith is, it's none of my business, but I just truly believe whatever you believe in, you cannot have freedom without a belief in something and being really comfortable with your faith. And you can't outsource your success and your belief. You got to put the work into that. Your family, you're not going to be able, I can't outsource my success as a husband, as a father. I have to be all in on that. My fitness, I have to take my health and my fitness. I got to do the work. I got to get the workouts in. I got to eat healthy. I got to do all these things. I got to focus on being healthy. I'm not going to have freedom unless I'm healthy. I could be financially free, but I'm not going to be free if I have health issues. I'm not going to be free if I have bad relationships. I'm always going to feel burdened down. I'm not going to be free unless I feel right spiritually, right? All those things, I think everybody realizes, like, I can't outsource that success. But somehow with our money, I also believe you can't be free without having the right relationship and the right structure with your money, which is what we teach people how to do, right? The problem is the government and the financial system and Wall Street has told you that you're too dumb, it's too complicated, and you need to give up control of one of the most important pillars of your life and entrust somebody else to handle it for you. And do this buy and hold long-term strategy instead of teaching you how to invest for cash flowing assets, instead of giving you the realization that you need to become who you need to be and learn this skill so you can get to where you want to go. It doesn't just happen accidentally, right? And for you to think that some financial advisor is going to have a better vested interest in your success, to me, is a completely delusional mindset that people have been baited into believing. And that is the construct of why 95% of people are hitting retirement age and they're not able to maintain their standard of living. Because if you looked at the numbers of the median numbers and even the average numbers, these numbers, this 1.72 million or 27 million is not even close to enough money. If you look at the 4% rule, that barely produces $45,000 a year of income. Barely. Like safely for the rest of your life. And so when you look at that, the people that are actually saving the amount of money that it takes to get to the 1.2 million in assets, they need way more than the 40 million or $40,000 a year of income. And so Americans are in so much trouble right now. 95% of people are not able to maintain their standard of living when they hit retirement. We're the most prosperous country in the history of the world, and this is our situation. And I believe it's because of the fact that we've been lied to, that the system is not set up for you to succeed, but you can follow these 4 steps to regain control of your financial life. And basically, I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but put yourself in a position where you can thrive, put yourself in a situation where you have a framework that you can move forward. Now, if you need help eliminating debt, I would say go down in the link in the description below, set up a call. We have debt elimination consultants and people that are amazing with that. We've got software. We can help you navigate everything you need to do that. If you're looking, once you get there and you're looking to save money, you agree with this, you're like, oh my gosh, like my eyes are open. I think I need to save 20% of my income. I would say, we can help you along that process as well. And at the end of the day, it's all about a framework. It's all about how are you gonna go about this process and what time frame are you gonna navigate this? What are the benchmarks? What are the goals? How do you know when to save? How do you know what to prioritize to pay stuff off? What is the most efficient way to kind of navigate all this? Are you sitting on capital that you can use to pay it all down? How do you understand what assets you have that you can leverage to pay off debt? Does it make sense? Or should you just keep those assets where they are and pay off your debt with cash flow? The answers are different for everybody. That's what our coaches will do for you to be able to help. And then ultimately to produce cash flow producing assets, here's what I'm gonna say. And I'll go back to the board here. Cash flow producing assets can be a lot of different things. You know, like it could be real estate. It can be business. You can invest in like private equity funds. Like my wife and I just launched a private equity fund that is designed, it's called the Cashflow Hacking Fund, and it's designed to create cash flow. So make sure it's in alignment with your values and beliefs on what you're looking to do, but we launched it with the goal of being able to help people invest for cash flow because there are not enough assets out there that are doing this. It can be all sorts of other things. I know people that are going off and they're starting side hustles that are creating more cash flow, and they're building side businesses that are doing so, but at the end of the day, they're able to do so and they're able to create a better result than the stock market's going to be able to do to them with no risk. And so anyway, that is that. I hope it makes sense. If you have any questions, leave a comment in the comment section below. I'm happy to engage with every single person. If you're looking for a clarity call and you just want to learn more about this from a high level perspective and you want a consultation, call it a clarity call because it's just designed to help you have clarity around your situation, because once you have the right information, you can make an informed decision as to what's best for you. And from there, whether you decide to work with us or work with somebody else or not do anything, whatever, at least you're gonna have new information. You can't bury your head in the sand and ignore it anymore. I know we're coming up to the new year. I know regaining control of money is a big thing for a lot of people. And so I just thought that this would be a very, very applicable video to do this time of the year that would serve a lot of people and be able to help you take the next steps that you need to get to that next level for yourself. So that is it for now. Till next video, have a blessed, inspirational day. We'll talk soon. See ya.